Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney planning video. It's been a while since I've made one of these because I've been doing a lot of the vlog stuff. But I've had plenty of topics that I wanted to talk about and questions asked, so I want to get back on the horse and keep helping you guys out with your Disney World planning. So this topic today is going to be about groups. What is a good thing to do with a group in Disney World? How do you kind of handle that group, and what kind of rides, what kind of restaurants, what can really handle a large group at Disney World? And it's pretty common when people go to Disney World with large groups. They might be doing family reunions, they might be going with a bunch of friends. Whatever the reason is, having a lot of people with you is pretty common. You'll see a lot of groups there in general. I mean, there's schools that do school trips there, and like sports teams that like go there, and then you know, all of that stuff. So like, how do you manage all of these groups, and what are the best things to do as a group in Disney World? Because it is a little bit different than when you're just 2, 3, 4 people. So you want to think a lot about how it's affecting a group dynamic and what can accommodate a large group of people. And the last time I went down in January, we had a very large group of people. At its max, it hit 9 or 10 people. And my first recommendation before I even go into rides and restaurants and all of that is split up. You don't have to do everything together. We didn't do everything together. It was better for it. It's really hard to try to keep that big of a group together. Sometimes we planned around the same parks, but we would split up inside the parks. Sometimes we were at totally different parks at different times. 2 of us here, 3 of us there, another 4 of us somewhere else. So definitely feel free to split up. You do not need to do everything together. You will be better for it. You won't kill each other by the end of the trip if you allow a little bit of space and time and the ability to do what you want. So I'm just going to put that out there first. But for the moments when you do want to do things together, what can you do, and what's the things that like best accommodate these groups? So I'm going to start with rides, and the obvious answer for rides is roller coasters. Because the roller coasters have multiple rows and they're built to hold obviously a lot of people in a single ride vehicle, it's really easy to have everyone on the same ride on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, or everyone together in Splash Mountain. We took over an entire boat by ourselves, and that was like the best experience ever. It's actually in one of my last vlogs. But, you know, it's really easy to get everybody together. It's not going to be so difficult when you tell that cast member 8 people for them to just like put you all in rows. And so you'll be able to get generally like really good photos together and all of that. The one case where that's a little more difficult is Space Mountain, because it is a single-seater ride and because there are only 6 seats in a row. If you were a group any bigger than 6, you're gonna get split up, and that's what happened to us. We ended up being in 2 different total cars. It was like 3 in one and 4 in the other, because there was just too many of us going at the same time. So that is one of the ones that doesn't really work in your favor here, but most of the other coasters are going to be real easy to get everybody on at the same time. That said, other rides with like bench-like spacing is going to be really easy. I already talked about Splash Mountain, Dinosaur, because it's 3 rows and you can fit, I want to say 3 or 4 across. Pirates is another great one. Jungle Cruise, where you're putting a whole bunch of people on a single boat. Like, those are going to be great rides that you can get everyone on together. Nobody has to feel separated. So anything that has like those long, lengthy bench seats or just a lot of space is going to be really awesome. And then on that note, doing shows is great. Doing Fantasmic, Indiana Jones, Beauty and the Beast, anything where you're in an amphitheater and you can all sit together is another great thing to try and do as a group. Star Tours, again, another really big vehicle where you can get everyone together as a group. So definitely think about those rides when you're thinking of what to do together. And remember that there are some rides like Toy Story Midway Mania where you're 2 and 2. And in our case, a lot of the times there'd be one person playing by themselves because we were an odd group of people. You know, same goes for Buzz Lightyear or any other ride that's more like 2 to 3 people. Just keep that in mind, especially if it's one of those competitive rides that, like, if you're an uneven amount, maybe you want to ride it twice so that odd person out gets to ride with somebody, or you just like pick the person who's like totally okay with being by themselves. I don't care when I'm by myself on those rides because I've ridden them so many times, but you know, just make sure everyone in the party feels comfortable and whoever's the odd person out is okay with being the odd person out. And if they're not, then, you know, either switch it up or try to go on a second time so that person can feel like they're with somebody. In terms of restaurants, there are some restaurants that are going to be able to accommodate bigger groups better than others. Most restaurants, about 6 is their max before it becomes a little difficult for them to accommodate a bigger group. So consider that when you're making your reservations. Sometimes you'll have to separate 2 tables next to each other. Sometimes you'll have to push them together and all of that stuff. If you want to just go to restaurants that are like already set for your group size, think of big places like the Beer Garden, which we did. We had a whole table to ourselves because those tables are meant to be family style. They're meant to be really big and you share them with other people. So we were able to accommodate like 8 of us eating there one night. Other restaurants with a lot of space like Hoop-Dee-Doo, if you're willing to spend the money on a show like that, you can get really big group tables together, which again is something that we did, and we knew it was going to be really easy, and we all had assigned seats already. Like, they had tables reserved for us and we were all going to be together. Ohana, another one that is based on family style dining, so you are sitting in these big tables with sometimes other people, and in our case we had enough people to fill out a whole table. But again, think of like the family dining style restaurants that are going to sit you generally with strangers otherwise. Now your group is big enough to kind of have your own table. Aside from that, what else can you do as a group? I mean, there's plenty of things to do. You can have a spa day all together if you want to. You can go to the beach at the Polynesian and roast some marshmallows. You can enjoy one of the movie nights at the resorts that all the resorts have. If you look at a calendar when you walk into the resort, they also often email you what's coming up for the week that you're there, but they do show movies at night, and so that would be an awesome thing to just sit down and enjoy with people. Maybe you just want to get on a boat ride with everybody. We did that. You know, we took a boat from the Magic Kingdom to Fort Wilderness to go to Hoop-Dee-Doo, and like that was just a really nice bonding experience. We got time to chill and talk about our day and all of that. And yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that you can do as a group in terms of just enjoying each other's company. Like, get some Starbucks and chill in a quiet part of Magic Kingdom, or I don't know, go to one of the Epcot festivals, which is really just all about walking around and enjoying your atmosphere in the World Showcase, and that's very easy to do together as a group. So that's it. Those are some of my recommendations for how to think when you're having a group. You need to think about how rides and how restaurants can accommodate you guys, but also think bigger picture of like how you guys can hang out even beyond that. And again, like I said in the beginning of the video, split up. Don't be afraid to split up. Don't feel hurt if the whole group doesn't stay together. And don't resent people if like you want to split up but you feel like nobody is. Like, do what you want to do. It's understandable if there's kids in the group, then like obviously someone needs to be with the kids, but like there still should be opportunity for somebody to go off shopping if they need to go off shopping, or for 2 people to go off and do something else together. So for sure, be reasonable and flexible, because it is very, very hard to keep everyone on a schedule and together. But I will say that having planned dinners here and there and having these planned group moments was a nice way for us to kind of bring everybody all back together and have a great discussion and meet up and have a good time without feeling like we were imposing each other's schedules on anybody. So that's it. If you guys are heading to Disney with a large group, I would love to hear about it. If you have any questions specifically, if you're worried about how the group dynamic will be, if you're concerned because some people are thrill ride seekers and some aren't, and how you're going to handle that, whatever your questions might be, let me know in the comments below and I'll answer them. You can also tweet me at IvyWinterYT. If you want to see more videos like this, you can show me that love by subscribing. You can also like this video if you liked it, and please share it with people that you think it would be useful for, because that's, you know, really what this is for, is to help you and anyone else you know plan their Disney World vacation. So if someone else is like, oh man, I'm going with 10 people, I don't know what to do, just send them to me and I will help them figure out some of the rides and the restaurants that they can go to. Thanks again for watching another video. I always appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to watch me just talk about Disney. It's pretty great. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.